Oh no. That's no good. That's no good at all. Hey, what's going on, folks? Bienvenue. My name is Wade, and this is Sabine River Valley. Today, we're going to work on a little project, something that I'm pretty excited about. I got me something that I've wanted for a long time, ever since I got my first tractor. When I got that tractor, I learned that there was something that I really hated with it. Not really with the tractor, but with something I had to do with the tractor. And I don't know if hate is a strong enough word. Despise, loathe, like it's the worst thing ever. And it's one of these. I hate these 5-gallon cans. They're the worst. They're heavy, they're cumbersome. You can't ever get the fuel out, all of it. This is a Sure can. I don't know if y'all have got Sure cans. These are the best. This is the best you can get. I've used all of them. Other than the old school, nothing in it that stops it from flowing, right? These are the best that you can get if we're forced to use, the stuff that they've got out today. But this thing, these just 5-gallon cans are terrible. I hate them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go another route. So I've been looking at something for maybe, since 2023, that's when I got my tractor. I've been looking at this. I've wanted one for a long time. And finally, around Christmas time this year, I got me one. Got it here. It's been sitting here for a little bit because I've got a plan on how I want to set it up. And, well, let's just look at it real quick. So this is a diesel transfer tank. It's made by, this one is branded Yatimoto or something like that. I don't know. I think one company is making these, and a bunch of brands are slapping their name on the side of it. They all look exactly the same. Even Viver, I think, sells this exact same one. But there's a couple of things different. Number one of the things that drives me crazy when something's being brought in, something's being coming in from a different country, is when they throw a red lid onto a diesel transfer tank and tell you to put diesel in it. In the US, diesel is green or yellow, right? That can over there is yellow for diesel. When you go to the station and fill up, you use the green handle, right, on the nozzle. We don't use red. I don't want a red one with my diesel fuel, because someone definitely, it might not be me, but someone else is going to mistake that for gasoline, and they're going to try to use it as gasoline. And then we're really going to have a problem. So in any, if some other company is watching this that sells these, makes these, green for diesel. In the US, green for diesel, or yellow. You could do yellow, but green for diesel, not red. Now, I might get one in the future for gasoline that is red, and I'm totally fine with that. So anyway, so this thing, you lift it open, and you've got, where you fill it up, you've got a gauge that tells you how full you are. It's got a 12-volt pump on it that runs through a filter, then through the hose, and then into a nozzle that looks just like what you would use at the gas station. And I'm really excited about this. So this thing supposedly holds 116 gallons. Now, I've been told that it's really will only take about 100 gallons, but I'm fine with that. That's way better than a 5-gallon bucket. And it's got this nozzle on it right here that, is just easy to put in and fill up. Man, I'm super excited about that. Now, one of the things that it has built into it which isn't bad, it's good. It's got an area right here for forks. So if, you need to load this in the back of a truck or on a trailer, you can just throw your forks on your tractor and lift it up and put it in there. And that's all good and everything. Like I said, that's very beneficial to have there. But who really wants to go load this thing up with their forks every time they want to take it and get it filled? You can have services come out and fill it for you, but 100 gallons, I've been told that's just not enough. It's going to cost you too much for their transport fee, right? If it's not over a certain amount, like I think in our area it's like 500 gallons or something like that. If you're doing less than that, you really need to take it somewhere and have it filled up. So I want to make that a little easier than having to throw forks on. So let's see what I'm trying to do here. We'll go through it and we'll see if it's going to work. So my plan is to get a trailer dedicated for this that I can pull with my truck and take it and get it filled. Then I can bring it back, and then I can use the UTV to haul it around the property and fill up anytime I need to. You know, maybe I can park it somewhere where I don't need to move it that often, but if I ever do need to do that, I can just connect it to the UTV and pull it. So I've been on Facebook Marketplace looking and looking and looking, and you can set up notifications, alarms when something kind of meets your criteria. I've got those set up. I've been looking for this for months and nothing has come up that I like. There's plenty of trailers on there. There's 4x8s, 5x8s, 5x10s, but all of those are meant for, you know, other things. You can throw your zero turn in there. You can throw a UTV on some of them. And I don't want to be tempted with this trailer to want to take this off. I want a small trailer that is just for this, that there's no other thing that I hopefully can think of that would make me want to remove this off of it and then use it for that for the time being. And then when I do need this, all of a sudden I got to go throw the forks back on the tractor to get it back onto the trailer. So that's my plan. But I need a trailer for that, and I think I found one that I like, and it's from one of my favorite stores, and that's Harbor Freight. So I got online, started looking at Harbor Freight, and they have a brand called Haulmaster. I use their binders. I use Haulmaster binders for my tractor. They've been great. So, but I've never really used or looked at their trailers for anything, but they do have a brand new trailer that was supposed to come out a year ago. It took another year for them to do a few tweaks to it, and they just released it recently, and it's just been the talk of the town, right? Everybody's been waiting for this trailer to come out. It's got all these different options that you can do to it to set it up differently and everything. But anyway, I don't need that. I don't want that. But they have their older Haulmaster trailers. There was a 4x8, but there was also one that's like a 4x3, something like that. And that one looks pretty sweet. And it's only $3.99. And you get coupons all the time at Harbor Freight, right? And I have a ag exemption that works with Harbor Freight. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I could get it pretty cheap. I'm not sure. But I was kind of hoping something else would work. I keep seeing this in all these different YouTube videos. People use this way to get things and get it done. And, you know, I don't know if I've been doing YouTube long enough for this to work for me. But I think I'm going to give it a try. And I'm glad you're here to share this experience with me. So, all I know to do is to, I guess, wet my fingers. And, I don't know, let's see if this works. Come on, man. All right. Trailer. Tiny trailer. Tiny trailer. Not that tiny. Okay. Do it again. All right, here we go. Okay. We're getting there. That's closer. That's closer. All right. But I need it to be on a trailer. I need a trailer. All right. Let's try this one more time. Here we go. Oh, look at that. I'm a real YouTuber. I'm a real YouTuber. All right. Well, that was awesome. All right. Well, let's get working on this project. So now that we actually have a trailer to work with, let me show you my idea with this. So I've seen a lot of people put like a plywood base or something down on this, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do something that is going to weather quickly, and I don't want to put down a piece of metal across it. I don't want to add to the weight. This thing has a weight capacity somewhere a little over 900 pounds. 100 and whatever plus diesel in this tank. There's going to be some weight to that. I just don't want to add another couple hundred pounds or something to this. I don't know if you can get a big sheet of aluminum for it. I've never really looked into that. That might be an idea. Maybe I'll do that in the future if they've got something like that. But so what I did was I went to my local hardware store and I picked up some composite decking boards. And I don't know, maybe this will work for this. I'm not sure. It was like 50 something bucks for these, and I'm good with that. So hopefully these will last a long time. I've seen those decks last for quite a few years now. So hopefully the trailer deck will last quite a few years. Again, I'm not taking things on and off. I'm leaving the tank on it. So hopefully I'm not wearing these out. It's just going to sit there. There's not going to be any walking on them or anything like that. They're just going to be there. And maybe these will last me 10 years. I don't know. And if I have to replace them, we'll look at an alternative at that time. I'm going to bolt these down. So I'm going to cut them to size. I'm going to put some lag bolts in them. And I'm going to have to drill through the create me a couple holes right here in the trailer across. I'm going to do front, back, and then down the middle for that, and then put lag bolts. I'll do 2 at each section for each board. And I've already got the lag bolts. I went and picked them up. So that's what we're going to do. That's what I need to do to get this set up. And hopefully there's going to be a little bit of work to this. And I always do that to myself, but hopefully this will be something that lasts and that looks good. So I've got a few tools here. I'll get them set up. I don't have my workbench here yet, so I'm just going to throw my chop saw on top of the tank and use it as a platform to cut these on. So let's get this moved over here and we'll get to cutting on it. She's heavy. Okay, here we go. All right, so I need exactly 48 inches. .48 inches. So what did that leave me with? Because these are supposed to be 8-foot boards. But you got the kerf. So, oh yeah, so they were just a little bit over. So it made sure that I had enough for 2 48-inch boards. Nice. All right. Get this on there. About there, and about there. And yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. So, man, that looks good. So now, all I need is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more, maybe? All right, let's do this. All right, so it's going to look something like this. Right over here at the edge, I'm going to have to rip this last one down to size. And let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll put it right here in the middle somewhere. But I think it's going to look good. What do you think? Hope it will. It don't really matter because that's what it's going to be. All right, let's rip this last board. It's a good little table. All right, so I popped a line across this, and I'm going to do the ends first, the 2 ends. I'm going to get those mounted on here, and then they won't move anymore, and I'll be able to kind of move everything else where I want to with inside of those. So I think that's going to help me a little. These are my lag bolts. They were 5/16, something like that. 8mm. That's what we're going with. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's gonna look sharp. Good.
Do you have the wood connected now?
I have one connected up. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, so that's on there. That's on there good. It was a beating to get it on there, but I'm gonna do that other one and then do the other side and then go through these. I'm not gonna make y'all watch all that. So I'm just gonna snap my fingers and hopefully it's done. Oh, stink. So it's the next day and I got the deck on. Ran into a little issue, but we'll go over that real quick. So here it is. I think it looks pretty good. There's a couple things that I don't like about it, but I can't really do anything about. So you saw that I had to cut a strip out. Well, check this out. If you look down that strip, I don't know if it's coming through on this very well or not, but it's a lot tighter up front than it is at the back. And I understand what's going on here. So, you know, I should have realized, right? This is a Harbor Freight trailer. I had to put this thing together, and it all bolted together, right? And up front here, where the side beams bolt in, up front, it's not as wide, just by millimeters, right? It's not as wide up front as it is in the back. So when I started putting the decking on, I started from both sides and I did the ends first, got them secure, and then I went in, you know, to the ones next to that. And as I got in, you know, I separated them out I threw in a finishing nail and separated, that's the gap that I have. And the reason that I went that route is because I didn't want the gaps too open, right? I want a less of a chance from when I'm going down the road with this for something to shoot up underneath and actually hit that tank sitting there. So I just used a finish nail to separate that out. And I did that going down, but as I was, you know, getting closer and closer into the center, what was happening is that the front of it was at a different distance than the back of it was. The front was closer, the back was spread out just a little bit more. And so you can see here, this strip that I put in is, I mean, it's just tight right there at the front here. But if we walk around to the back, you can see that there is a much larger gap right there. And you know what? There's something you gotta remember about this trailer, and that is who this trailer's for. And this is totally fine. I'm not going to freak out over this. I did look up some steel plates, some aluminum plates that I could put on top of this that aren't too heavy. I found a 4x4 16 gauge steel plate that I could put on this for about, I think it was about 60 bucks. So if it ever comes down to that, you know, that I need something else, that this needs to be replaced, I might do that and just cut it and fit it on there perfectly where you won't even really be able to tell that there's any kind of variations there. But for what it is and for who it's for, this is going to be totally fine. So a couple of things that I need to do now is I've got to get the wiring finished on this. So I've got it all ran and everything, but I've got to get the ground wire screwed in. You know, I've got me some self-tapping screws for that. So I've got to get that in there, but I want to put a protective coating around that. I'm going to put a loom around that, and then I found some tape that you're supposed to be able to wrap around and then use a heat gun to shrink it up. I'm hoping that that works. I'd like to do that just to kind of protect that. So let's get that done, and then we can throw the tank on and strap it down. I want to go beyond just strapping it down eventually, but I don't really know how I want to do that. I'm not a welder. I do have a welder, but I'm not a really like professional welder. So I'm going to really have to look at this and figure out if this is something that I want to take on myself. I hope it is. I can at least try, or if it's something that, you know, this is just so important, it's got fuel on it that I need to take somewhere and just have them make the brackets, because I've already got an idea of how I want it done. But anyway, well, let's get the wiring done, and then we'll get it on here and strapped on and see what it looks like. First, I want to get this ground mounted, and then on the back side of it, I've got a zip tie that actually has a place for you to screw in, like to put a screw through. So I'm going to put a self-tapping screw through this so that that's where the force will pull on that instead of directly on this one wire that I've got screwed in there. It seems like it's working. It's not as pretty as the loom was, actually, you know, and you don't even really think of loom as being pretty, but it does seem like it's working. So I'm going to keep going with it. Just got to do a little bit at a time, then let that cool down, and then work your way back down. So I think the trick is to go ahead and get you some wrapped around. You don't have to have it exactly the way it's going to go, but go ahead and get you the material wrapped around. Then once you get it wrapped around, you can go back and start lining it up the way it needs to go. All right, we got that done. Now, I don't know if it was worth that or not. It's definitely rigid. So, I mean, it's tough. So, I mean, it might protect that cable that's sitting out. Now, that was the whole point in that. So, I mean, you know, only time will tell. I put a couple zip ties on the ends just in case those want to come off. But, I mean, it is what it is. There we go. I've got the rest of the wires kind of in some loom. I'm not real happy with the loom, but again, you got to remember who it's for. So I'm not too beat up about that. I guess so. The next thing we need to do is get it on the trailer, get the tank on. This is going to be interesting. All right. This thing isn't real heavy, empty. It's just awkward. It's big, right? It's big and awkward. So I'm going to chalk these wheels. So to keep it from rolling forward, we'll throw those under there and hopefully that'll help that. All right. Hernia, here we come. There we go. Well, that wasn't bad at all. So there it sits. Let's see. Would you look at that? So let's get the strap on it and see what that looks like. I'm still a little nervous about this. I don't know how that strap's going to work. So this area right here is where the strap goes. And it's just a ratchet strap. Hopefully we have enough room for that. Oh no, she's going to be short. All right. Let me see if I can find another one. All right, I got another one here. And we'll try it. I really wish they had a way to do another strap back here. I don't think it would go anywhere, but it's still, so my idea, it has these little nubs sticking up, and I would like to have a bracket that can go around that, then come down like an L bracket that just goes down there and then mounts down here at the bottom by the foot. That's my idea to secure this better. But maybe I could do some type of just something that goes around this and hooks down to the corner for short term. Let me look at that. Okay, I was able to loop a strap around. I don't know that I like this. I mean, I think it's fine. I can do a third one over here and have it on that side, but I don't think it's going anywhere with those on it, and that would probably be fine. I don't necessarily like this though. I don't think I would do this long term. Just test everything out while we're here. Remove our safety pin. Replace our safety pin. Chains. Oh no. That's no good. Is that enough though? Okay. So it's working. That's about as, that's tight, but that's about as, I'm not going to turn that sharp at all anyway. But I'm going to get, I guess, an extension for that. I can't go the ground wire from the original cable. That's it. There's no more. I mean, I could extend the ground wire, but I just went with the length of the ground wire and kind of put it towards the end. So it's working, the lights are working. So let's go get some fuel in this thing. All right. So I didn't go get fuel. I couldn't take that wire being that short. I just couldn't pull it down the road and have it I just couldn't take it. So I went to Wally World instead. Spent $5. Got me a little adapter. Well, 18 inches longer. So it's ugly. And I found one on Amazon that actually is wrapped and everything. So I might do that. It's coiled, so it springs back and forth. I don't want all, the extra cable hanging down. So I might do that. I might order that. But for now, I've got that. The problem is that by the time I got back, my fuel place was closed. So can't go get fuel today. And I want to get this video out. So we're just going to go with the trailer is done. The lights work. They look great. Blinkers, everything. I've got her strapped on. I've got her strapped on. And we're just going to go with it. That's not sketchy at all. But we're going to go with it. I think it'll be fine right now. My fuel place really is 2.5 miles away. I mean, it's just right down the road. So lights work. Blinkers work. We're ready to fill her up. So I'm pretty excited about this. This is something that I have wanted ever since I started using those 5-gallon cans. And I mean, this is really, in my mind, this is exactly what I pictured. Maybe secured a little bit better, but you know, this will work for the moment. But anyway, that's what she is. So yeah, hopefully next video maybe you'll see me using her, and I might even have a new toy to pull her around in. Yep. But you'll just have to come back to the next video to see that. But anyway, all right, well, I appreciate you watching, and Lord willing, I will see y'all on the next one.